Hi there, welcome to Golden Healings. This broadcast is part 2 of a series, and we're talking about how energetic healings can change your life. And I'm going to share with you what you can expect from energetic healings with real life case scenarios, as I did in the first series. And I will talk about my experiences with both adults and children, not just the children who experience symptoms from autism or ADHD, just to give you a better idea of the types of things that these energetic healings can provide you with. If this is your first time joining, my name is Tina Bishai. I'm the founder of Golden Healings. I'm a physical therapist by background. I worked in the corporate field for a long time and now have become a Reiki master and a shaman. And here I provide both in-person and distant healings to both adults and children. And my love is really to help children who have symptoms from autism or ADHD. And I really believe in addressing everybody, but especially these kids, in a holistic manner, and addressing their physical, emotional, and their energetic beings through these energy sessions. So I encourage you to reach out in discussion and comments. I love the feedback that I've been receiving, and I'd love to connect with you. And before we start, I want to make sure you understand that when I'm talking about energy healings or shamanic healings, that they can be done both in person and in distant healings as well. And when I say distant healings, it means I will be in my home and you would be in your home, or your child would be in their home. And there is no need to have in-person sessions, but they are available as well. And they are just as effective because when we're talking about energy, we don't have the same barriers that we have with our physical bodies. And I know I gave an example in the first part 1 of the workshop where, we all know about the physical healings that we receive from our physicians. And an example I used is, you have a knee issue. It can't be resolved with physical therapy, for example, and so you go in and you have knee surgery. And then that physician or surgeon is taking literally a hammer, saw, and chisel and, giving this person, for example, a total knee replacement. And that's the kind of healing that we know of. And we can wrap our heads around. And I know a lot of you have difficulty wrapping your heads around what does it mean to have an energy healing. And so that's part of the reason why I want to talk to you about some of these things. And if you think of your energy, we all have an aura, an energetic field. You may have heard through acupuncture or ancient Chinese medicine, you may have heard of the term meridians. That's where the chi and life force, or prana, you may have heard of, flows through us. And that is our energy body. And the reason why it's so important is because all of our physical symptoms that we ever experience in our physical body, they all start in our energetic field first, in our energy body. And so if we address what we see in our energy bodies, then our physical symptoms dissipate and our body is able to heal the way it's meant to heal. So today I want to spend some time on focusing on what energetic healings can do for you. In part 1 of this series, I shared how physical symptoms such as migraines can be improved and even eliminated, how a shift in a person's life experiences can happen because now they're attracting things into their life because their energy is at a higher vibration than it used to be. And so they're attracting different things into their life than they were before. And I also gave a couple of case studies of how children's symptoms from autism and Asperger's were improved significantly or even eliminated. And so today I want to focus on a few different areas that you may or may not have ever thought of that energetic healings can help. And the first one I'd like to share with is depression. So I understand that depression has various causes and, they can be things like genetics or biochemical changes in the brain or hormonal changes or trauma. And I want to ask you just to consider that by addressing a person's energetic and spiritual being through these energy healings or shamanic healings, that a person's depression can be greatly reduced or even eliminated. And it's such a beautiful and natural way to address depression. And I know it's a serious issue. I'm not suggesting that, people stop their meds or don't continue with their medical care that they're receiving for depression. But I really think that, medical science or the traditional approach is missing an aspect of something that can really help these people. And oftentimes when I do energetic healings for people who are experiencing depression, I will find intrusions or attachments, which are energetic things or intrusions or attachments on these people that are not theirs. And so once through a type of healing that we can do, once we remove those energetic attachments, the person is then free to be themselves without that same heaviness. And again, traditional medical approach is so important, and I'm not discrediting that at all, but I do recommend, I've seen really beautiful results. People struggling from depression, and the energetic healings really made a significant impact in their lives. Second scenario I'd like to speak to you about are addictions. So, and I mean all kinds of addictions. So alcohol or drug addictions or sex addictions or eating disorders, any of those kind of addictions and the like can be reduced significantly through shamanic healings. And addictions are another scenario where I see attachments or sometimes intrusions, things that do not belong to that person, that they're dealing with, and the attachment is so significant that it's actually influencing how the person is behaving. And again, once that intrusion is removed, that person is free just to be themselves in that beautiful spirit that they are. Again, I'm not saying and discrediting, the traditional therapies that are there for addictions. They're so important. But if everything is addressed in these therapies, but not the energy body or their energetic being of that person, and they in fact do have an attachment or intrusion, it's going to be so difficult, almost impossible for that person to recover fully. And so I share that with you because it's such an easy healing for a shamanic practitioner to do, yet so life-changing for those that are struggling with addictions. And with addictions, it may be the case that they need, a few sessions of tune-up every year after their initial sessions that they receive for the healing. But, just to give that person the best chance possible to kick their habit or whatever they're struggling with for their addiction really makes a big difference. The third scenario I want to speak to you about is fatigue, or really low energy, chronic low energy. And you've heard me speak that we are all physical, emotional, and energetic beings. And oftentimes when a person has chronic low energy, they can really benefit from energetic healings. I know in my workshop that I created for parents who have kids with autism and ADHD, I share a picture with you on the slides. It's Sandra Ingerman's results and work that she did, and she provides a gas discharge visualization camera picture of a person's aura before and after they receive a soul retrieval. Which is a type of shamanic or energetic healing. And what happens is that person's energetic field becomes full and vibrant again after the healing, whereas before it was really narrow or condensed. There were lines or areas in the energetic field of the person that were broken, and that person didn't have the full protection that they would normally have if their aura or energy was full. And so a lot of times when people are struggling with chronic fatigue issues or chronic low energy, having energetic healings or shamanic healings can really make a positive influence in their life and really have the person feel more vibrant and alive, and literally they are. And the fourth scenario I'd like to speak to you about is with children who have symptoms from ADHD. So just like kids who experience symptoms from autism, kids with ADHD are super sensitive to the energies around them. So they are sensitive to their own energetic field, they're sensitive to the people around them, their energetic field, and then the interaction between the two. So energetic healings and shamanic healings really make a significant impact on all of those areas. And so what naturally flows after the healings for those kids is a more calm and peaceful child who is really able better to focus their attention where they may have had difficulty before. If you've heard my online workshop, I talk about the three main influencers to these children's symptoms. And so diet is definitely one of them, but the other two are involving the energy, the energetic field of the child, and also the energetic environment that they're in. And so these healings really address the two, two pillars that I speak about. Thanks, Jasmine. You're currently looking into Reiki. That's great. You know what? I do Reiki as well, and I want to share that Reiki is amazing, and I love it, and I became a Reiki master. I also want to share that the shamanic healings are very different in the way that they can impact a child and a parent in such a profound sense that and in a quick manner. So I just want to share that with you, Jasmine, not to discourage you from looking up the Reiki, but also to know that the power and the profound change and the velocity of that change I experience when providing shamanic healings is really impressive and effective. So thank you for that comment. For all those kids, I want to remind you, or parents who have kids with autism or ADHD, I want to remind you that I provide a 90-day money-back guarantee for every 10 sessions that you purchase. And I point that out because I'm a huge believer in these sessions and these healings. I've seen them create miracles for children and parents in their lives. And so there's no need, I want to stress, there's no need to take your child into an office to have them examined. There's no need to stress them out with multiple appointments. What happens is, with your permission, I simply check in with my spirit helpers to say, what does this child and parent need in terms of way of healing? And then I share that information with you. And then and that's all free. And then from there, you can decide whether you want to go ahead or not. And, my question to you is, why continue to watch your child struggle with the symptoms that they are when really there is so much more that's available to them and to you as a parent, just to be able to watch your child live with joy and freedom and connection with other people. And I say this because I've experienced it personally with my own child who had symptoms with Asperger's. So whatever they're dealing with, whether it's inability to focus or hyperactivity or, challenging behavior or tantrums or difficulty with speech or incontinence, whatever it is, your child is doing the best they can with the energetic body that they have. So the trick here is to work on their energetic body and then watch what they're able to do within that energetic body that's been healed. I know in my online workshop I use an analogy about those old radio station tuners and how when our children experience symptoms from autism or ADHD, it's like they're sitting in between the stations, and so there's some fuzziness or sound that isn't so great. And once we address our child's energetic being, it's like we've turned the radio station knob and now they're on that clear, audible station playing really beautiful music. And the analogy is that is your child in their full capability without dealing and struggling with the symptoms that they have been. And so I just want to share that with you and remind you that this is available to you. And I'm so grateful that you tuned in to listen. And thank you, Jasmine, for tuning in and for giving me your comments and your time. So if you're interested in learning more, please go to my website at goldenhealings.com. If you haven't seen the workshop yet, just click on the free workshop tab and just put your name and your email address in there and you can have instant access. And I hope this was helpful, and I'm going to be doing these videos every second Thursday at noon, so please join me every second week. Have a great day.